Oh my God.
There was a massive explosion. I mean, something that really shook this city like I've never seen before. And I've been through wars here in Lebanon, and this is something unheard of.
شفت التباريز حسيت انا انه تحت الدولاب يمكن طلع الانفجار. مره معي واحد رايح ابنه مدري امه ما بعرف بيقول لي كان في طيران بالجو بس بقضية الطيران ما حدا حكي فيها ابدا ابدا. ليه؟
After the 4th of August's explosion, I felt the urgent need to go back to Beirut, the city where I was born. Pandemic or not, I needed to see with my own eyes what happened. After checking on my family and some friends, I did not know what to do with my anger, fear, and the stacked pile of the never-ending Lebanese traumas made out of 15 years of war added to serial bomb attacks, assassinations, the war of 2006, and now the total financial collapse, a combined Ponzi scheme mixed with the nonsense haircuts from the banks, who ate up all of people's savings, all along the depreciation of the Lebanese pound against the dollar. I have left this city a billion times before. Since I was working in art now, I ask myself if there is still space for art, and if it is still relevant after all the losses, deceitful lies, ugliness toward this city and its people. The answer came back to me when I met Annie Vartivarian, Gaia Foudoulion's mother. Gaia was a designer and animal rights advocate that bled to death from the blast. To honor her child, her mom organized an Art Design Lebanon exhibition in Tabbal building in Ashrafiyeh. In saving the memory of her daughter, she saved many.
We were together at home, Gaia and me, and Gaia, she had gone to her room to get prepared for a shower, and we heard the first explosion. She ran away. She ran to the living room, and we were watching together outside. And the second explosion happened, and we had to run on different directions, she and me. She ran to her right towards the sitting room, and me, I ran towards the kitchen. When I came out, I saw everything was broken, and I saw also Gaia on the floor, lying down. But Gaia, she didn't have any injuries. She only had a brain damage, and that's how she passed away. We had to run five, in fact, hospitals, but they were not accepting because they were full already. Yeah, she had started this project in December 2019. She had the concept in December 2019. Then during the months after that, she started to do the branding and she started working on the website. August 4th, 2020, she passed away. So the project was not realized. And I started to do this project to keep Gaia's memory alive. So Gaia's project was bring together artists and designers, which is something a little bit not very common in Lebanon. She had studied design, product design, and also she had worked in the contemporary art gallery. So she wanted to bring these two backgrounds together. The bench was one of her designs that I realized I produced it. So guys, she wanted also to have one piece only from her product, considering that there will not be many designs. So I decided to respect what she wanted to do, but a little bit with the small changes. The gallery will go to the Gaia Fudunian Foundation because Gaia, she was an animal helper. Gaia Fudunian Foundation is a foundation to help animals in Lebanon and all over the world. So it's a kind of commercial gallery, but at the same time non-profit. You know, art, it's a hope, you know, it's for everybody, especially for the young artists. It's very important.
Intentionally, I went to check on the printmaking studio workshop located in Jamaizi, where I learned my first etching techniques. I wanted to know from Tariq Murad, my teacher, what have happened on the 4th, and if there was art being made after this tragedy.
Fine day, we are completing work. Alhamdulillah, I had to leave early on that August 4th. I left at 5:30 and I left people here in the studio. People were still working, and what happened. You have all of the conspiracy theorists, you have people saying this was ammonium, you have people saying that this was a missile. At the end of the day, you have to ask who benefits. I don't think this was an accident, in my opinion. And this non-accident cost over 200 lives on the spot, plus all of the damages and all of the broken families and all of the deaths that came after that. And I don't think it was just bad management and an accident. There was more to it. I don't think we will ever know what happened. Like in any corrupt country, the truth never surfaces. We had total damage here in the studio structure. We lost all of our windows, all of our doors, our plafond, our gypsum ceiling, the door on downstairs on the fine woodworking studio. It was a mess. It was rubble. Outside in the garden, all of the tiles from the building had collapsed into the garden. We had a good half a meter of glass, tiles, wood, aluminum, and it was a strange scene. When I came to the studio immediately after the explosion, I managed to arrive here at about 7 o'clock. You would only see two colors, gray and red. Gray from the dust and rubble, and red from the blood. But I'm a tough cookie, and the harder I'm hit, the faster I want to get back up on my feet, especially because the studio is a safe haven for many people, not only for myself. And these people depend on the studio. So we managed to crowdfund. Of course, we didn't have the cash to do this, but we managed to do a crowdfunding that was a blessing, and we were able to have the studio back up and running in the entirety of the studio 2 weeks after the explosion. We made some changes. We don't need a plafond anymore, so we don't have to spend money on that. One of the windows right facing the press was completely blown out of its place, so I just chose to brick it up and not put another window there, because although we like natural light in the studio, it's more wall for us to hang artworks. So we kept some windows, we blocked some other windows. The window in the dark room, we had a window that was completely boarded up because of light. It's a dark room. So again, we blocked that up with cinder blocks, and now it's completely light tight. Glass and aluminum profiles, it was crazy. No one had it. Beirut needed glass and aluminum, and it wasn't available. According to philosophy of art, as long as I do this, let me get a piece of whatever. This is my mask. If I do this, and I say this is art, no one can say it's not art. But on a personal level, I can say I like it, or this is bullshit. So on a personal level, when I see people producing art about the explosion, in my opinion, it's a bit too early. And it's a bit too early because we're still mourning. We lost people from the studio. We lost friends. How can you make art about something you don't fully understand? I insist that if anyone says that they're producing art on about the explosion, that means that they have fully digested what happened. And to say that is a lie. It's a lie. It's more than lying, it's profiteering. About a month after the explosion, Liban Post came out with a stamp for letters with the photograph of the explosion. Someone should have been fired. I don't think they even distributed the stamps. I'm not sure if they came out or not, but they actually published the stamp saying that they were releasing the stamp, and all hell probably broke loose. And to do a painting about the explosion is just, right now it's too early, it's tasteless. No, you're not expressing your emotions about the explosion. If you want to express your emotions about the explosion, go help a family who's still in need because of the explosion. Don't do a painting about it. Go help someone. Immediately after the explosion, they were passing out MREs, meal ready to eat. These were our meals packed for the American army. And they were donated to the Lebanese army, and they were passing these out. And I took the liberty of taking one of these kits, and I made a photograph of it. But I included in the kit a map fold of the Raft of the Medusa painting, which is a painting about social exclusion. So it's as if the kit contained this painting in it. So I am producing after the explosion. I am doing art after the explosion, or art. I'm producing paintings, photographs, drawings, sculptures, and so on. But it's not about the explosion itself. It has more to do with things that were happening.
I visited Noha Muharram, a gallery owner who miraculously survived the blast, decided after 1 week to restore and rebuild and organize a collective exhibition as a message of hope to the city she loves.
كل يوم بيجي على الجاليري بمرق من البور. بهيدا النهار كنا in between lockdowns وكنا عم just working by appointment، ومرقت من البور وشفت الفليمز والفاير، بس ما خطر على بالي انه شي هالقد كتير، رجت البناية كتير. نحن عنا هيدا انا بنركض على اللاند لاين تنطمن اهالينا انه they hit جميزة، بس انه I'm okay. أنا عم ببرم في شي مثل الفاكيوم بيحملني وبيرميني بوقع على وجهي. اللي بتذكره كتير إنه كنت كنت بدي أوقف كتير بسرعة، وقلت إنه why engineers، أنا حسيت إنه هي بالبناية عنا، هي مش بالبناية عنا، هي شي كتير كبير، الناس كلها مغطاية بالدعم، بنايات، البيوت مهدمين، كل شيء كان على الأرض. يعني رحنا على سيارتي لقيتها دامجد مكسرة، اللي معي بالتيم معه موتور، جربنا نفتش عليها، مفروض هي تكون واقفة قدام الجاليري، كانت على الشارع الريلي التحتاني، يعني توكس كمان وقت تنلاقيها، وطلعنا على الموتور عم ننزف، أنا وياه كنا مجروحين، طلعنا عم نمشي زيكزاك in between كل شيء، في كل بيروت على الأرض. We saw dead people. كان يمكن أطول طريق لإلي، يعني الدمج كان كتير كبير. جربت نوصل على المستشفى، يعني the experience of the explosion was really horrible، بس I think the hospital experience كانت لإلي scary. يعني I still can't sleep. I know art spread a very powerful message and energy، وهو أكيد art is the first draft of history. I want to talk about how our doors were reopened and about how we can give people with art a message of hope. يعني هدول هن كانوا الconcepts اللي that inspired our comeback، اللي هو our ongoing exhibition: healing, recovery, hope. كيف إنه Beirut will rise again. Art of 56, like our beloved Beirut, will rise again. لإلي it's too early، ما بدي أقول commercial بس early، نحكي عن هالانفجار يلي هو ثالث أكبر انفجار بالعالم بشي لوحة أو sculpture. It's just too vivid and still feels scary.
You see people curse on the street. You read anger clearly in the eyes and on the walls of the city. And this Beirut, that was destroyed so many times before, insists on rising up and rebuilding one more time.
انت بدك تنزلي على بدرانك هذا السير، ما حدا ساعدني وما حدا في شيء من هذا.
مشيت السيارة؟
ايه السيارة كانت تهرب فيها، بس شوفي الخبرة، زيت معدن مبين، الازاز معدن مبين، تابلو ثياب صار كله حوارة، استشهد على السيارة الألمين والازاز.
At the end of my visit, I was ashamed of leaving and looking at people who remained, who willingly decided to stay. They reminded me of a lesson I've learned a long time ago from Beirut, and I was about to forget. A lesson that, even though the city is always in constant mourning and cursed with losses and tumbling downs, it can still amaze you that it can stand again, and that it is a city that apparently, in one way or another, is indestructible.